Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I got my CEO PESO. I'm blessed and highly favored. Got my guy in the building, longtime friend, longtime companion. My nigga's crazy with the fingers, good with the keys. Artistry level is on point right now. He got some new shit out called Frustrated. We got Sumlin in the building.
A-Ron.
A-Ron. We was just talking about your fucking tag, and I was wondering what that shit was, but because I seen it on your Instagram, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But I guess that's the tag emoji, the yelling motherfucker.
Yeah, it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it made sense.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, my emoji game is terrible. I be using like just the regular like peace uptown shit, whatever. What's poppin' though, bro?
Man, I'm thankful, man. Blessed to be here, man.
Ain't seen you in a minute. I'm like, you got the new shit out right now. I'm like, man, I gotta get my nigga on here. Dope though. I like how I shot the video, but we're gonna get into that because I don't know whose style or who directed the video or whatever. But it was just a different type of way I shot it. It was like organically like cool, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of like a sitcom vibe.
Yeah. I mean, you kicked it off with the food joint and everything.
Yeah,
you know?
Chipotle, man.
Yeah.
That's like the thing, man.
And I heard y'all shot that at like 8 in the morning. So where that Chipotle come from?
So look, all right. So L, big bro L, he shot it. LG, and then Cameron Davis, Lauren. I can't remember her last name. But she actually got the Chipotle the day before.
Okay.
Because the whole plan was we was gonna kind of shoot it at Chipotle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, but long story short, earlier the better.
Yeah. And it was a good spot. It was Oregon, right?
Yeah,
that was a damn good spot. Like
beautiful day too.
What? Nigga, the sun hit. I'm like, wait a minute, that's that golden hour. I'm like, that shit look good.
It was a good time, man. But yeah, she brought the Chipotle out. I'm like, all right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this.
Yeah. Nah, that shit came out dope. Shouts out to LG too. That was my roommate back in college.
Yeah.
Long time. That shit was a minute ago.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, let's get some of your background, man. Where you from, your upbringing, and you know all of that.
So, born in Dayton, Ohio. Born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. Grew up on a lot of music, man. Like I grew up doing a lot of band, like a lot of.
So you grew up in doing it, like
yeah,
at an early age.
Yeah, like it was either that, it was that and sports.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, hooping, football, but then after that was over with, music. You know what I'm saying? So, lessons. I'm in the church trying to learn how to play. I'm not, not want to be there, but I'm glad I ended up doing it.
Yeah, so your church, I mean, your people's is like super church orientated. All right, so why? I was just talking to my nigga, actually Dre.
Okay.
But it's just like, why is church like a young sport for motherfuckers? Like, you was in church, but it just was like, you gonna get here and do music. Like, why they throw you into that shit to do church, music in church?
See, honestly, for real, I didn't like sitting here.
Okay.
Doing sermon.
Right.
So I was like, man, I want to go, on there. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. That looked more fun. I'm getting shit.
So that was your decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, you mean like going to church? What do you mean?
No, your decision of like, I want to be on stage with doing that shit, not sitting here listening to the
pews.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as a young kid, like, not to this day, but as a young kid, I really couldn't grasp what the message was. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the message was, I wanted to stay home.
Do me. You know
what I'm saying? Yeah. So anytime I had to go, or anytime we went to church, I found more enjoyment out of praise and worship, out of the musicality. You know what I'm saying? It was live.
I mean, that is the most entertaining part, especially at a young age. Like when we was going, because until we started going down to our church, they had like the for the kids to go to.
All right, little Sunday
school. So that's what made shit decent enough. Like, but sitting up there with them, it just was like you said, we ain't listening to the good word. Like,
no,
ain't nothing like that though. But our sense at the time was like, what is he talking about? Probably.
You feel me?
But when that music come on.
I'm like, shoot, I'm looking at
Holy Ghost in there.
Running up the aisle.
So that makes total sense, though.
It was a crazy story because I was asking you, did you start off with the keys?
Yeah.
Because to me, everybody start off with that shit.
I mean, I guess you could say I did. I would go to church. It was this older dude by the name of Josh, man. I ain't talked to bro in years, but anyway, he would be in there. He would play songs off the radio. That's what really got me like into music.
Oh, like he would just
whatever was out. So at that time, I Ain't Mad at You was like
Pac.
come on, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
no.
Seeing that,
yeah.
bro, I was like, that's the song. Like, you know what I'm saying? So from there, bro,
So that was just it. I mean, that it's probably like a young nigga seeing a nigga dunk and they
you feel me? Like, I want to be
I want to do
LeBron.
that shit. Yeah. Damn, that's dope though. So how
Shout out
would
to
you
LeBron.
say so was it self-taught or did you take lessons?
For the most part, it was self-taught. Like, I would sit down anytime radio came on, because we ain't really had, it wasn't no MP3s or CDs or radio.
Yeah, it was literally,
you feel me?
yeah, 102.9, no, 92.1 or
92.1, you feel me? 94.5.
Yeah, 94.5.
It was the only two.
Yeah.
But I would hear a song, I'm about to learn that song, and then just sit there and learn it. You feel what I'm saying? It was,
I don't get it, bro. I
Playing
mean,
the notes.
because even with the keys and you basically you learn it by ear in a sense.
you feel me? In a way, that's really the best way to, like, you know what I'm saying?
So is it true that learning the keyboard first is damn near like automatic, like the notes is saying the different instruments or something like that? Like you can play different instruments, or is it something else?
I think you understand, like, notes. Like, for me, I used to think that because I play a lot of instruments, you feel me? But I used to think that, like, okay, I play the piano, you could play anything else.
Yeah.
It ain't the case for real. It's like,
okay.
you know the skills become familiar and shit, and you start to hear, like, okay, I could do that on this, you feel me? And then you, piece by piece, you feel me? So
Yeah,
that's
it's
really
building up.
Yeah.
So how long did the church go until you started really getting, as far as when I met you, well, when I got introduced to you, you're a producer.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how long was church doing the whole thing until you crossed over into like the production music vibe?
Man, I'm gonna be honest, it was like, so I had downloaded software my sophomore year of high school. It was called Beat Acoustia.
I ain't hip to that.
Bruh, it was like a free
Them
trial.
niggas probably know, but I ain't hip to that one though.
It was a free trial. You use it for 7 days. So
Okay.
look, I didn't have no money at that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm 14 in high school, 15 in high school.
Yeah.
So I would download that every time the trial ran out. I couldn't save no.
So you just re-downloading every time.
Every time the
7 days
trial,
is
yeah, you feel me?
Yeah.
I re-downloaded. So it ended up happening to where I'm like, okay, back up. Prior to that, from church, you know, playing in church to production, that's probably like 7 years. So
Okay.
I didn't start producing until 7 years later. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like I said, I downloaded that software. I'm like, oh yeah, this is dope. The beats was trash, you feel me? I was making the grinding beat was my number one go-to. You feel me?
Look, I remember I tried to do production. It was either grinding or the squad up beat.
Ooh.
Dun, dun. It was just, I remember the bass was hitting like, I just remember them was like the two easiest remakes of like beats back in the day.
And it's crazy because in high school, niggas used to always try to freestyle, you feel me? Everybody wanted to rap. But look, it was like, Sumlin, do the beat. So I go, doom.
Yeah.
So it just went from that to like, oh yeah, I like this. Like, this is actually dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it went from there, man.
So, all right, so you get your taste of that, which was like basically lunch table room type status. You download the program and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So so even being in church for that long, you still was just a hip hop head of it, like all of that shit though. Like not really. Did you get burnt out after the church thing?
I got burnt out of going because I'm young. I'm in there's a lot of old folk. There's nobody in there I can relate to. So, you know, I just didn't want to be there in terms of sitting there. You feel me?
Yeah.
It didn't register with me until I got older. Like, oh, okay, like, you know, go to church for, you know, to hear some word. But at the same time, like, praise and worship is a whole nother animal. That's another thing that, you feel me, moves you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just necessarily hear someone preach. Like, you can go there and feel moved off of the music. So from there, it was like, oh, music got this. I can do this now. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to make music. You feel me? So I went from there to that, man. And
so what would you say? Who was some because your style of how you produce now? I'm just curious. Was it always like that? You got like a real like smooth melodic type way you produce. I mean, maybe I ain't heard enough of your stuff that you've done, but what was your style or sound you would say when you first was like, the 7-day trial shits and everything. Like, what was your sound consistent of?
Man, you know what? I would have to say simple. Like, it was. That's a great.
Yes, good question.
That's a great question. Because I really didn't have a sound. Like, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I got around far out, like J.O. and Keys
Mike, yep.
to where I was like, oh, you could, there's a method to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like you got a structure. You feel me? So once I was watching them produce and make songs and produce other artists, then it was like, okay, so you can't just make a beat and loop it. Or you can't just have a couple sounds. Everything has to be cohesive, you feel me? So after that.
I mean, even they shit was like
yeah,
it was literally far out. But when I first heard it was like shit put together, but it sounded dope as like you said, it was still a structure to how they was doing that shit though.
Yeah. Like some organized chaos for real.
Yeah, literally.
Like spot on, you know what I'm saying? It be times where I go to grandma's house, you feel me? And I'll go in there and I'm just like, bro, there's a lot of shit going on in the beat, but it made sense. Like that shit was just different. So being around that, and then, at that time SoundClick was like
the go-to.
The wave, you feel me? Everybody on SoundClick.
SoundClick beats for sure. Not SoundCloud, SoundClick. That's
YouTube type shit now.
Yeah, but that's when niggas, I remember niggas, Mike D had a page. And you could customize your page and everything like that.
Like MySpace type shit.
Yeah, I remember that. So, your support system, when you had crossed over into like doing full production, how was that? Like, was your family with it or your peoples, or was it like when you step away from church, was they kind of not with it?
Yeah, they wasn't with it. It was either the military or school. You feel me? That's just what it was. Like, it wasn't no in between with no music. Yeah, music is cool for you, extracurricular.
Yeah.
Outside of school. But when it comes to real life, no, they would.
Why? Let me ask you that though. Why do you think? Like, I think I got hit with that shit once before when I was coming up. But why you think that be the case of like, no, the military or whatever? Like, if it like, why you think that be like this the only thing rather than like going to college and not doing what we want to do?
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna break it down like this, right?
All right.
So I think it's really primarily our parents. At least my parents, they really weren't taught to think ahead. It was more so you live to survive. You eat to survive. You feel me? Do shit for the now because it's gonna take care of you later. It wasn't more so think 5 years down the road. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't fault to them. That's just how they grew up. You feel me? That's how they was taught. So along the way, bro, it just clicked. Like, I don't want to do that. That ain't nothing I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I already had a problem with people telling me what I could and couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? From being in church, no, sit still, be quiet. None of that. You know what I'm saying? So
that little authority having over you bullshit. Yeah.
So I, damn near got rebellious and was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'm gonna prove to you that this is something that you could make a living off of. It could be lucrative. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Man, I be telling my niggas that too all the time. Like, I feel like, and I agree with you though on like just how they generation was coming up. Our generation, boy, say that for real.
No offense.
Nah, not at all. But that's what it was though. GM and all of that shit. But I think that our generation is the middle that had to break it, like type shit.
Middle child shit.
Yeah, literally, man. Cause I remember just having them talks with my peoples and everything. I didn't go to college. Actually, I did go to college after high school for like 2 weeks and gave up.
Man, I got a crazy story though.
Go ahead. Listen, we want them.
So look, my dad, he had got diagnosed with kidney disease. So end of my junior year. Start of my senior year. So we had moved to Savannah. Came back. I wasn't even gonna go back to school. Like, I was gonna go to high school down there, finish out my senior year in Georgia.
Right.
So my dad comes back. He ends up having a stroke. Feel me? So I'm like, it's just me and my dad. And then my sister came back and was staying with my grandma. Long story short, bro, he had got so sick that I couldn't leave. Like, I had to stay here. You feel what I'm saying? So, and it wasn't necessarily like anyone held me to stay. It was like I couldn't see myself.
Could have it in you, like, just
I got my sister, my mom, and my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? My dad's sick.
Yeah,
sister's just now starting high school. Like, nah, I gotta at least be here for her. You feel me? Or just for my pops. So along that, like I was gonna go to Grambling. Like I had like an audition for a scholarship for marching band. You know what I'm saying?
Drumline.
Yeah, type, you feel me? So
Yeah.
and at that time, you feel me, like
That was what?
come on, man.
That was so in that aspect of it. That was like when Hustle and Flow came out to us.
You feel me?
That type of vibe.
Yeah,
that
bro.
shit took niggas to the left with it.
I literally was like, man, shit, I gotta do this, but that happened, ended up staying, you feel me? It was a blessing in disguise because I don't know if if my life would still be the same if I hadn't stayed. You feel me? Who knows? I might have been doing tech or something. Like I would have corporate
Just
or some
anything.
shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying I'm not knocking it because that's still,
Nah, but you never know what type of influence or situation or decision would segue you into something like that. Is it something? All right, let me ask you this though: is it something that you're curious of and have regrets, or is it something you just like think of and be like, "Nah, I'm glad I didn't." Like you made your decision on what led you here.
Honestly, I stopped as of recent. I should say I stopped reflecting,
Right?
Because I'm like, I can sit here and be like, man, I wish I would have. You feel me? I regret not. I don't have no regrets because my parents still alive. You feel me? Sister's still here, and I feel like without me seeing, I guess like a different side of my folks, like a struggle aspect, it was like, damn, you know what? It just made me a better person. Made me really like understand it's bigger than me. Like whatever I do, life in general, like I'm not the only person on earth. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the world don't revolve around me. So having to step up and just be there for them, it was like, oh,
Yeah, I mean that's building up on your character too. Just making decisions like that, especially at that age, it molds in the who and what you are now. I commend you for that though.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's talk about when the production got serious. When would you say that it just was like, all right, this is what's going on?
Man, I would say when I heard Forest Hill Drive, like I was always pursuing, like, okay, I put it like this. 2010, I was learning. You feel me? 2010 to 2012, I was trying to figure everything out. So I started on FL or Pro Tools, and I went to FL. And then it became like, all right, I'm seeing that you could really do this, you know what I'm saying, as a producer. Like I'm getting better, you know what I'm saying? The beats are starting to sound more full. I'm making at this time, I'm like, shit, I'm making like 20, 22, 23 beats maybe a week. I mean, like it was
5 beats a day for 3 summers.
It was at one point, bro. I had in a month, I think I had made like 110 beats.
Okay, so I mean, you probably answered that. I just want to get it for the audience to hear. So, because you were saying like you was just like you making so many beats and you making them full. What you think is like the best technique of getting better as a producer? Like what would you say that it consists of?
For me, studying, repetition. You gotta just push yourself. It's gonna be days doing it, just doing it more. You feel me? Like it's days where I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing none of this.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm fine tuning. Like, okay, so if I don't feel like making a beat, I need to mix. I need to learn something. You feel what I'm saying? Like my biggest thing was I want to be the best. So I'm not necessarily. It's not a shout out to Nip. You feel me? It's definitely not a race. You feel me? The marathon. It's all about taking your time and going your speed. You feel me? So it was like, okay, once I learn this, then I could go ahead and focus on songwriting. And I run, you know what I'm saying? So went from there for real.
Yeah. So with the production, how long did it take you to really understand the full-fledged everything under the surface as being a producer? Because like you said, it's the mixing, you doing songwriting. I mean, the producer name itself is more broader than just boom, boom, pap type shit.
I would say 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. 2018. Like I had just got out of a relationship. So I was feeling low. I was at my lowest. Like I had my whole life playing with, you feel me, my ex.
Which is the best way to make great shit. But bro. Keep saying my
hey.
shit though. Nah, help, man. Look, that's why I love Bryson Tiller's shit, man. Trap Soul. Look, that's the best shit ever.
I couldn't stand, bro, when he first dropped, because at that time I was doing my dirt. So don't register with me a little different.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like this nigga really telling me like, bro, you gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
You feel me? So once that whole, because I was doing beat battles. Okay. I mean, that was my way to like get on. You feel me? I'm like, okay. At that time, it was a lot of A&Rs and a lot of artists that were established that were at these battles.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, let me do these beat battles since I don't know anybody that I can reach out to. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that production really got serious for me after I heard Forest Hill Drive. When I heard J. Cole, that whole project,
That was very well constructed.
it was like it moved me differently. It wasn't like an emotional thing. It was just like this nigga telling a story, but at the same time, it didn't come off corny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it wasn't like a.
It was a vulnerable album. That and Born Center is probably my two favorite from Cole.
Yeah,
like for sure. Like I can't even include the mixtapes, but but Cole definitely. I mean, because I'm in my hand of producing here and there. He was definitely somebody that I just admire the artists that produce their own shit too. I think it just gives a way more valuable meaning to their music when they hands on from that end, the artistry part though.
You gotta think about it.
Yeah,
they the first one with the record, right? And on top of that, you able to fine tune and tweak as you go. So it ain't like you get a beat. I wish he would have never had that. You feel me? Or it ain't my tempo. I can find it before I get to writing. You feel what I'm saying? So it make it easier for me.
And just the fact too with the videography aspect of it, off of me doing videos. I remember he did an interview and he was saying the joint with Miguel. And he was saying like, man, as soon as I made the beat, I knew who I wanted on it, what I was gonna say, how I was gonna shoot the video. So it's just the process of he already had this shit premeditated, and it come out just so dope when you able to curate it to your like you said, fine tune it right there to your understanding.
It makes shit more fun too.
Yeah. So with segueing into the songwriting, I don't know when your earliest like memory of like you actually was being an artist, but my first time hearing you on the record was Frustrated.
Okay, yeah. That's a good first impression in my opinion.
It is though.
Okay.
I mean, well, to me, of course, but then just hearing it and hearing your style and everything, like it just made sense. Like when I heard it and even with the visual, I was like, bro, this just makes sense, bro. It ain't too much. It's just like some smooth shit. You did some shimmy in the beginning. I'm like this is like a fun record. Like I fuck with it. So how did you feel putting that record together, and also how did you feel when the reaction of it when you was actually perceived as an artist when it dropped?
Man, honestly, bro, I had a moment. Like, I was like, bro, this shit is dope. You know what I'm saying? Because if you would have told me 2010 I'd be doing my own music, I would have looked at you and said no, and kept it moving. Or I would have laughed and said, hey, yeah, all right. You feel what I'm saying? And so to see like my own growth, just with me being more comfortable with being myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, okay, I can really show them like, oh yeah, I got some shit. You feel me? So, but as far as songwriting, man, I as long as I can remember like I would write down, I would try to rap. Yeah. Everybody wanted to rap at first, so I try to rap. I try to freestyle. Like I have pre-written freestyles and shit that I would pre-written. So I go to school like, you feel me? Like I'm ready. You feel me? So long story short, it didn't start making sense until like as I'm getting better with production, I'm also coming up with melodies or I'm coming up with cadences for shit. But I'm like, damn, this actually fire. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and record it quick. Wax. Yeah, put it on wax. Went from there.
Okay. And so, Frustrated, like I said, going into it, it's like it's a well-rounded universal song for women though.
Yeah.
What made you kind of tackle that to be the basis of the song and everything?
So I guess it's not like a spoiler alert, but I had this idea for a project. Like I said, after my last relationship went south, it was like I need to reflect. I need to be able to like tell the story. It's a crazy story. So Frustrated came about. It's really an interlude to my project.
Okay.
So the cool thing about it is I'm giving you the best of 3 different perspectives from like Jiminy Cricket in a way. So I'm like telling you a story as the conscience.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So like the reason why it's basically an interlude on the song in reference to, like I say, my last joint, but I didn't want to get so serious with it. Like, yeah, I fucked up. I do my dirt. You know what I'm saying? We all human, but you know, there's other ways to cope and to move on. You feel me? So like the whole premise of meditating and finding who you are and bettering yourself, that's where that came from. 'Cause I know I did my share of dirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like one of those, hey, girlie has you stressed out. Like, give me your best now. Give yourself your best. Put your own, you feel me, time and effort into growing. So
Yep, put all that back into you.
back into you.
Nah, and it's told very well through the video though. Like I really fuck with it. I want to ask you real quick, going back with your situation that with your ex that went bad or whatever. I mean, it ain't funny, but are you instantly thinking like, man, this shit gonna make great material, or like, is it just like real life? I mean, obviously real life is gonna hit you,
Right.
but how long is it to where? How long it take to where it's like, man, now this shit is gonna transcend it into like music?
Not long. It was more so like, because all the music ain't about that, but it's just more so it's a pivotal point in my life because it was like 11 years, you feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you
it's
growing
life
up.
changing. Yeah,
Right, so it's a lot of shit that entail, and I'm like, shit, everybody go through shit with somebody, so I'm like, you know, I ain't no riffraff, I ain't no trash, you feel what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I ain't no, you feel me? So it's like, I need to be able to tell this story from a level of like, niggas, we, you know, we ain't perfect, but at the same time, y'all ain't either. I'm not putting the blame on the women or the shorty, but it's like, it's a two-way street, you feel what I'm saying? Take four wheels. Sometimes it take two wheels, but at the same time, it take, you know, a two-party effort.
Yeah, it's a two-way street for sure. It can never be just pointing at one unless you're just a piece of shit. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah,
though.
no, that's a different way. You feel me?
So what's the name of the project? When is that dropping?
Name of the project is How I Finesse Chipotle. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait. In your bio, it said something about Chipotle.
Chipotle enthusiast.
Yeah.
So look, the entire project, basically I didn't meet my ex at Chipotle, but she was a part of how I got free Chipotle. Like at the time I had visited her in Florida. So I had, you know, got off the plane. I didn't have any money at the time. I didn't get paid at that time. So I had put all my money into like getting there.
Yeah.
And my check was gonna come like that Friday. So I left on like a Wednesday.
Thugging it out.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I touched down in Florida. I'm hungry. She's like, what you want to eat? I'm like, shit, let's get Chipotle. So we go to Chipotle. But in terms of that, right, she didn't have no money either. So at that time, if you didn't have it, they just gave it to you.
Chipotle?
Yeah, if you don't have it like that. I don't know if they still do. At that time, if you didn't have the money to pay for it, when you get to the end of the line, they say, here, just take it. It's on us.
What?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things, but the project title came about because, like I say, the entire story is about what I went through, all the bullshit, you feel me? And on top of all the dirt, you feel me? Like, it'll make sense when you hear it, but it's releasing sometime, I say, about early summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so hold on, because with a title like that for it, like, was it a heavy thought process to call it that? I mean, because how you think people gonna perceive it seeing that? Like,
Honestly,
I love it though.
This is what it was. So shout out to Keys that came in town. It was me, Keys L, at my old spot, and I was eating Chipotle. You feel me? And he was like, bro, I was playing beats, whatever. He was like, bro, this sound like day party vibes at Chipotle. And I'm like,
dawned on you.
it dawned on me, like, I got a story. Like, everybody always want to know why you always eating Chipotle. I'm like, bro, because it's good. Like, I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, shit, for $7-8, you could eat for the rest of the day. You feel what I'm saying? So,
Nah, G shit.
Real
Shit. I get a whole bowl,
I be
half
done.
of that joint, other half later, whatever the case is.
You feel me?
Or now I finesse it, like get the bowl and then get a tortilla wrap on the side.
You feel me?
Switch that shit up on the later.
Taco.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It just ain't the spoon all the time. Great minds think like
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, G shit.
We here with it.
Yeah,
man.
nah, facts. Chipotle is definitely one of them. Like, oh yeah, I'm satisfied of hunger through the day. Like you said, for like $8. If you feeling froggy, get the chips.
It's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's a different, like, I don't know, like.
Nah, it really is.
Every time I went, I'm always seeing it's like, damn, she cold, or you know what I'm saying? It just felt like an event.
It's either that or Panera when you get them type of vibes.
Panera. Let me see what
For
is.
sure. I ain't a Starbucks, so I'm probably sure you'll catch some in there. So man, I want to ask you though, Because it seemed like you kind of level headed with where you going now that you got everything out to the public for the people to like rock with you on. Where you see it going? Where you want to take it to?
Man, honestly, I want to go all the way with it. Like, I know when I say this, I know it comes off kind of like, yeah, okay, like cliche, but like I really want to be the best to ever do this shit. Like I put a lot of time, a lot of fucking blood, sweat, and tears, literally, into where I'm at today, especially musically. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm ready to show the world like, hey, this is really what Dayton got going on. You know what I'm saying? And talk my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that time.
Man, two questions. You mentioned Dayton too, real quick. The music scene in Dayton, what does that mean to you? The history and everything.
Man, it's everything, bro. Like, if you really want to get technical, a lot of West Coast vibes.
Yep.
A lot of Bay Area. You could even say somewhat just rap in general is inspired or has some type of connection to Dayton.
Yeah,
You feel me?
absolutely.
From Roger and Zap to nigga using the talk box, which is now a derivative of auto-tune. You feel me? The bounce, the Bay Area bounce, how the LA and Cali move and vibe. Dayton Rim, like we got our influences everywhere. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, I'm a descendant of funk. Like I really want to showcase like we're so versatile with what we do that it's time. It's time for the Midwest, number one, to go ahead and it's wide open. But number two, more importantly, like shit, Dayton, like it ain't going.
I've been feeling that energy too lately, man. Shouts out to Drake Manuel. I had him in here and we was talking just about,
Shout out to Dre.
Yeah, being I mean, everybody's a frontliner at doing great at what they do. That's making the city everlasting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just time for, people with initiative to, we have the assets and the resources to really put to the world a documentary or music projects or whatever the case is, movie to show our impact. So I agree with you though. It's time to. I just feel that shit coming this year. Like it's about to be like some dominant set with what the fuck Dayton got, what brought to the table.
It's some fire here, bro.
Nah, it really is.
Nah, it's like every kind of style right now, and like I'm just it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
Last question, man. So, what is a good quote or advice that you live off of?
Never sweat, always keep it P. Shout out to Larry June, man. That's like the best advice ever is to always just keep it P. Like when you upset, don't let it let it show. And if you do gotta let it show, hold yourself to a certain standard to where you're not rubbing off or trying to influence somebody else off of your feeling or emotion, right? And then lastly, like let's never sweat it. Like it's life. We all got a story. We all going through something. And then understand you're not the only person. You feel me? So it just helped me. Like shit, always keep it P.
Absolutely. Man, I appreciate you coming through the platform. Thank you, my nigga.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
Hey, look, bro. I've been rocking with you for so long since you was coming to my crib in Miamisburg, far out them days, man. So I'm appreciative of this, calling you a friend and a companion of it. And I just talking, bro. I just like memorable conversations people gonna watch and listen to and pick up. Sure. So, man, make sure y'all check the project. It's gonna be out, man. Early summer, and I got something coming in the summer too.
Word?
I'm about to show you though. And man, Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep on dreaming. We out.
Yeah.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.